Well, good evening, everyone. This is Mike Bass back again with another forecast update for you for this October the 28th, 2025. I'm hoping everybody had a great Tuesday out there so far, but it's a great Tuesday evening. Hope everybody stay safe and well, and also enjoy the weather, because it's the only weather you got. Okay, in tonight's video, we're going to be taking a look at what is Major Hurricane Melissa, which is located just north now of Jamaica. Earlier this afternoon, it made landfall in New Hope, Jamaica, as a Category 5 hurricane with winds of 185 miles per hour, bringing catastrophic damage to this area. Rainfall totals up to around 40 inches possible in some areas, and the totals of rain for Cuba looking about probably maybe 10 to maybe 30 inches of rain for you guys in Cuba. So you guys are in line for this storm to make landfall in southeast Cuba. Then it will continue to race on off into the Bahamas coming up on your Wednesday. So sometime later tonight, should be sometime after midnight on Wednesday, should be making landfall sometime in Cuba, and then eventually move it across Cuba and then into the Bahamas later Wednesday morning or Wednesday afternoon, moving through the Bahamas. That'll be the third landfall. Then it'll make another landfall in Bermuda coming up later this week. Should be toward around Thursday, Friday, or Saturday time frame when Melissa makes landfall in Bermuda. Alright, but you can see a very wound up eye in the frame here over Jamaica. You can see that it kind of closed up, but it looks like the eye wall is trying to recycle itself. And like I said, it may try to intensify just a little bit more before it gets into Cuba. But the 5 p.m. advisory showed that the National Hurricane Center tracked the system winds was at 145 miles per hour. But it could gain strength to 150 miles per hour before it makes landfall once again in Cuba. So you guys in Cuba, be on the lookout because it is heading your way. Alright, now let's move on over to the forecast cone from the National Hurricane Center. We got hurricane warnings still issued for Jamaica, central and eastern Cuba, the central and south Bahamas, Turks and Caicos Islands under tropical storm warning. Also western Haiti still under tropical storm warning. Central Cuba under portions of tropical storm warnings as well. They went ahead and issued, just like I said, that Bermuda would be hurricane watches has been posted for the island of Bermuda because it's going to move to the northwest of you guys. And you can see by Sunday it's going to be a post-tropical storm way up here in the northern tropical Atlantic by 2 p.m. Sunday. But if you're tracking the system at home, it's located near latitude 18.5 north, longitude 77.7 west. Maximum sustained winds are at 145 miles an hour. That was at 5 p.m. Movement is to the north-northeast at 8 miles an hour. Classified major hurricane, winds of 110 miles per hour or greater. So, like I said, before it makes landfall in Cuba, it still could ramp up to 150 miles per hour and make landfall there as well. If not, it could decrease, but what you're seeing on the satellite imagery, it could slightly increase before it makes landfall in Cuba. Alrighty, now let's take a look at the Spaghetti-O models. They well and compacted. You can see the center of the storm around Jamaica, moving through Cuba, the Bahamas, Bermuda, and then well on up here towards Europe. Also over here that's going to be a pretty powerful storm all the way into the portion of northern Europe as well. So you can see that storm racing way off over in there, just like I think Hurricane Gabrielle did the same thing, went over here toward the Azores and then finally went over here toward Europe as well. Well, Melissa looks like maybe going to be visiting Europe also. Alright, now here's the intensity guidance. You can see we still have winds of about 150 miles per hour, equal up to 145 knots. You can see that some of the models still keeps it Category 5 through about 72 to 144 hours, 132 hours out. But you can see a dramatic drop in intensity through most of the model through a category 4, 3, 2, 1, and into a tropical storm from about 72 to 168 hours out in most of the models. So we can continue to say Melissa will be weakening as it continues to move across Cuba, then the Bahamas, and then it moves into the Bermuda region, and then it moves over the colder waters of the northern tropical Atlantic. So alrighty, well, there's your tropical update. So we're going to take a look at our local forecast here in the lower 48. If you have not subscribed to my channel, make sure you subscribe. Also like these videos, share these videos, and let's continue to get the show on the road here, folks. And let's say a prayer for the people, folks down in areas of Jamaica, Cuba, and the Bahamas, that you're going to be in the path of this storm. Let everything be okay for many people down in that region. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and get the show on the road here, folks. Shower activity for eastern Maine, Atlantic coastal water to Delaware, to New York State, to Pennsylvania, to Tennessee, to Mississippi, Alabama, to Oklahoma, to Iowa, to Indiana, Illinois, to portion of eastern Michigan, eastern and southeastern Canada. Shower activity around North Dakota, also Washington State, southeast Washington State, northeast Ohio, Oregon, and also over here to portion of northwestern Washington State. Mixed precipitation there as well in Washington, Oregon, Idaho, and Montana regions. Also, we have some critical fire weather across South Texas. Thunderstorms and showers for Alabama, northern Gulf, to Georgia, to Carolina, to Virginia. Atlantic coastal waters, Outer Banks of North Carolina, east coast of Florida, northwest Bahamas, and you can see there is major Hurricane Melissa moving across Cuba on Wednesday. Otherwise, expect dry high pressure to remain in charge of your local forecast area for your Wednesday. Alright, let's see if we can get on over to your Thursday outlook and take a look at it real quick. Okay, you can see Hurricane Melissa just northeast of the Bahamas by Thursday. Continue to head on over toward Bermuda here. Bermuda right in this area right here. But anyway, we got shower activity across northern Maine, New Brunswick, southeast Canada, around Toronto, Ottawa, Canada. Also into portions of Lake Huron, Michigan, down toward Tennessee, Alabama, Georgia, upstate South Carolina, western North Carolina, back into Ohio. More shower activity up here around northern Michigan, Lake Superior, northern Wisconsin, Minnesota, North Dakota, right along the Canadian-U.S. border as well. Some shower activity across southwestern Florida, Florida Keys as well. Thunderstorms and showers for northern South Carolina through North Carolina to New York State, to Maine, Rhode Island, Connecticut, down toward D.C., Delaware, and Maryland areas as well. Otherwise, expect dry high pressure to remain in charge of your local forecast area for your Thursday. Alright, let's move on to the current watches, warning, advisory map for your location across the nation. Alright, you can see in Atlantic coastal water, got a lot of tropical storm warnings and warnings, hurricane warnings and tropical storm warnings around the Bahamas, Cuba, and also in the Atlantic coastal water. Storm warnings in the purple in the Atlantic coastal waters as well. Small craft advisory, gale warning from Maine all the way to the east coast of Florida. Got coastal flood statement for eastern North Carolina, Virginia, Delaware, D.C., up toward the Rhode Island area as well. Got some freeze warnings in effect for western New York State. Got one little area with a couple counties with wind advisories over western Virginia. More wind advisories stretching into Mississippi, Arkansas, Louisiana, Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, portion of Missouri, western Iowa, a couple counties in southern areas of Minnesota and eastern Nebraska and Kansas. Red flag warnings over South Texas. We got a tornado watch with ongoing severe thunderstorm warnings in Louisiana and also extreme eastern Texas. Small craft advisory, gale warning from the Gulf coast there, from around Tallahassee, Florida, down toward the east coast of Mexico. Then we got freeze warnings in effect and freeze watches also in effect for portion of Texas, up in the Oklahoma, Kansas, also couple counties in Colorado, also in the portions of New Mexico and Arizona. We got a couple counties here in Colorado with some red flag warning. One county in Montana with high wind warning. Winter weather advisory for a couple counties in northern Washington State. One county frost advisories over Northern California, and also some one county with red flag warning and heat advisories for a couple counties in southwestern California. And also we got the smoke crack advisory, gale warning from central California to Washington State, and got one storm warning to just western Washington State, about 250 nautical miles offshore. Hawaiian Chain Island looks good. Storm warnings and small crack advisory across the southwestern areas of Alaska. Northern areas got some freezing spray warnings to the north. Alright, now let's move on to Storm Prediction Center outlook for day number 2. And we have a marginal risk up here around Richmond to Virginia Beach to eastern North Carolina, around the Cape Hatteras, North Carolina region. General thunderstorm around Wilmington to Raleigh up toward Baltimore and DC area. The tornado probability is less than 2% all area. Damaging winds 5%, and large hail is less than 5% all areas. Alright, take a look at the tropics once again, and we're going to show you where Melissa is in the next 7 days. After this, looks pretty quiet, no tropical activity. Only one we have is major hurricane Melissa, which is located here over Jamaica, or just north of Jamaica. Alrighty, well, I hope everybody enjoyed the video. Make sure you subscribe if you have not. Like these videos, share these videos. We'll catch you back in the next one. So have a wonderful Tuesday evening, folks. Take care and also enjoy the weather, because it's the only weather you got.